The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
What up, y'all, man? Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy RB, Raider Rob. You now tuned in to Raider Nation Central. Let me get a Raiders, where we talk about all things, other things, silver and black. Y'all know what it is, man. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, give your boy a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell, man. I drop videos every week. What's happening? All right. Hey, man. Want to get on here a little bit and talk about the Raiders right now. You know what I'm saying? It's feeling good. It's a lot of off-season things that's been going on. But I really want to talk about a little bit about John Spytek and what he's done for this team right now, man. I think he has reignited a lot of energy. He's pumped a lot of energy into the Raiders fan base with some of the off-season moves that they have made. I know he just did a recent interview. I'm probably going to pull that up, and so we can kind of check that out, man. But he did a recent interview where he kind of touched bases about some of the things that happened this offseason, as far as the MAXX CROSBY, as far as just the overall signing of the free agents. It was a lot of good moves he made this offseason. Signing just the being able to kind of be aggressive about picking up the center. I like that because it just shows the fact of what you're trying to do. And I'm pretty sure for him, having that ability to make those type of moves is obviously good for him because he feels like he's got the confidence from the upper owners, obviously Mr. Davis, right? So one of the things that I did not talk about is just, his track record. And a lot of people that weren't familiar with Spytek that are familiar with him now, you should know that, he come from a pedigree of just like, looking at talented guys, being looking at tape all day, film, players, this is what he does, right? And I think that's going to be very beneficial for us in the long run because you could tell by the signings he had free agency, these guys like Spytek because he know ball. And he probably is not coming across just like some run-of-the-mill GM. He comes across as a guy that just had compassion for the players, that understands, their thoughts, wants and needs. You can obviously tell by the situation with MAXX CROSBY, how that was handled, and there's no dirt on Spytek at all. Even the situation that happened with the rescinding of the trade for MAXX CROSBY to Baltimore, yo, man, the guy really has been doing it behind the scenes and making moves that he knows needs to be done. And right now, man, I'm gonna play a clip from him. All right, so we're gonna play this clip, man, of Spytek talking about some of the moves he made this off season. Probably gonna bring up I think the MAXX CROSBY trade and see, how he had to handle that situation. So let's check this out.
And closing that deal so quickly.
Well, it was a unique situation with him, not getting his fifth-year option picked up, and that happens with centers in particular, just because of the way the contract and the fifth-year option looks. But I give a lot of credit to our entire pro department: Ben Chester, Jordy, Jordan, Brian, Stark, and B Hunt. I mean, that was a guy that we targeted early, and just we thought, with the way that a lot of times those guys do go with a player of that caliber. A lot of times those guys get done before free agency starts, and he didn't. And so, once it was clear he was going to hit the market, we made our best offer. We had a lot of great conversations with Clint and the coaching staff, and how important the center is in this offense that we're going to run, and particularly a player of his caliber and his traits. And so, we tried to make him an offer he couldn't refuse.
What was it like getting him in?
Knowing going after somebody that you know you wanted and you got him to fit your offense is key. He's definitely going to be a key component to what the Raiders are trying to do as far as the running game, because I believe they're going to try to go to more of a zone scheme, and his lateral moving left to right is top tier. So shout out to them for bringing in Linderbaum and making sure that they can solidify that interior O-line. That's going to be some good spacing, hopefully, for Genty to run through and keep stacking on what he's already done for his rookie campaign. So shout out. That's what's up.
In the building, what'd you learn about him after that?
Well, he's, we go back to our college evaluations of him, and really the character too. I mean, we read all that stuff too, just to have an idea of what the player is or what the person is that we're getting. And he's just like you'd expect. I mean, I was around Tristan Wirfs for many years in Tampa, and those Big Ten linemen are near and dear to my heart, just with my background. And they're cut from the right kind of cloth, and Tyler certainly is that kind of person.
The MAXX CROSBY trade not going forward in Baltimore. We'll get to the defense coming up here, and now the fact that he's back in the building as you continue to build this roster.
But my relationship with MAXX since I've gotten here has been great. We had a lot of conversations throughout the season, at the end of the season, obviously, through the off season, and obviously we were presented with a challenging and difficult decision to make. And things have a way of going a certain way and working out the way that they're supposed to. And we welcomed him like he never left, because he really never did.
Yeah.
And it's excited to see him to work hard and attack the rehab like we know. And I know, he's going to be back ready to rock in August this year and have a bunch of many good years ahead of him still.
Nakobe.
Yo, I'm going to tell y'all right now, man. All y'all better get ready to see MAXX CROSBY play out of his mind. He's probably not going to play a lot in practice against the first team. He's probably going to be wrecked. They're going to probably have to sit Max out few reps in practice, man. He's you could tell from the situation he's going to play pissed off. He's wanting to show people ain't nothing wrong with my knee. Y'all messed up. Should have went ahead and pulled the trigger, because I'm about to show you. If I can get Defensive Player of the Year honors, that's what MAXX CROSBY is going to get. So them doing what they did, you really helped the Raiders out tremendously, because you got somebody else that's now still motivated, but more he's back to a big chip that you done dug in his shoulder, and he's going to play with that chip, and he's going to take it out on every team that obviously didn't want to give up those #1 picks for him either. So, yo, man, Spytek, stellar move, stellar way to handle that. Like he said he didn't want him to leave. So that tells me right there that obviously MAXX CROSBY was fed up with the way everything was going. And Spytek was going to accommodate that with a generous opportunity for him to go somewhere and play meaningful football where he would feel comfortable at. Max chose that. It didn't work out. They come back. They obviously talked it out, because Max said he was back in the facility that morning for treatment and training and rehab, and it's back to business as usual. He already said he's coming back. He's gonna remain a Raider, so we gonna stick with that, man. But shout out to them, man, for making sure that they handled that and got what they needed done. But yo, man, I love that. I love that for this team. I love that. I love that. I love that. That's what's up. All right, let's get back to it.
Dean and Quay Walker. Wow. I was hoping for one. A lot of fans were calling in, let's just get one linebacker.
I love these picks.
What a stealth move. How did you do that again in real time, saying one's available, maybe two, we have the cap space to do it? I think the fans would be fascinated to know how you pulled those two off.
Well, we had a lot of cap space,
Yeah.
and thankfully from our ownership group, we had a lot of cash that we could spend too. I think sometimes people are misaligned a little bit on what those matter. I mean, really, at the end of the day, the ownership group giving us the cash to sign players of the caliber we did was the most important thing. And it was interesting because they kind of came to a head at the same time. We were able to Zoom with Nakobe with the new rules this year. That was important to him. I wasn't surprised that he wanted to do that, knowing how thoughtful and thorough of a person he is. And, we stayed in touch with Quay's guys too. And it just kind of happened at the same time. They both started to show a lot of interest in coming here, which I think to our group was really a cool thing. I mean, it's when people start to seek you out a little bit and think like, hey, it's the silver and the black and the Raiders and Las Vegas is where I want to go. That's a neat thing to be a part of. And, we had some quick but strategic discussions about could we pull this off? Would it make sense? How would we play it? How will we play them in the scheme? Conversations with the coaching staff, and in a matter of 15 or 20 minutes, it felt like they both made commitments to come join us here.
They're like missiles all over the field.
That's what you need. Like, they made the choice, right? They were sold on the idea of what they were presenting, and it was already seemed like Nakobe and Quay was like, yo, you doing it? Yep, let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of common. I'm seeing now just from listening to other interviews with former players, man, talking about that's kind of common where guys are able to link up. Sometimes they just know and they like, yo, my agent talking to them, my agent talking to them, and it might come out like, yo, you might be able to get both of these guys, So shout out to Walker and Dean, man, for coming here and making the Raiders, man, part of your home, baby. Yo, I love it. I like seeing where it's going. Let's see if we can build off of with a championship. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, man. Let me know. You think the Raiders get a championship in the next 5 years? I actually got a bet on it. I got a bet that the Raiders are gonna make the Super Bowl in the next 5 years. So if everything's going right and chips line up how they do, who knows? Could happen. Let me know. Let me know what y'all think, man.
So you look at the tape and you've seen them get behind the line of scrimmage. They can cover. Sideline to sideline, is that something you were looking forward to, seeing guys that can stay on the field and make explosive plays?
Well, with the game the way it is now, they've got to be able to run and play at that position. I mean, you're in subgroups a lot, and so if they can't play in nickel and dime and all the sub packages, then you really end up with a kind of a one down linebacker. And these guys are not that. They can cover, they can run sideline to sideline, they can both pressure the quarterback, which is really important in our scheme. And they're the right kind of people. They had a great upbringing obviously at the University of Georgia, and we all know what that program's about. And it really is who they are. And they both have been captains in the past, and we expect them to come in with that kind of leadership. And they're both young too, which is really a cool thing.
Whoa.
Character guys. He wants character guys. Like he said, he wants somebody that's got that pedigree in them. Somebody that's that dog, but it's also playing with controlled rage. They know when it's time to click it on and click it off, but they also know they still have to be a voice on that side of the ball to keep everything together, right? This is the mental game that he's talking about, not just X's and O's, man. Walker and Dean should be top tier players for us next year, along with MAXX CROSBY. That's why it gives me so much optimism about the defense, right? I feel like we're going to be even better than what they were last year, which should thrust us up in somewhere into the middle of the pack as far as total defense, right? If that goes that way, then as long as our offense isn't that inept, right? Like they just can't just get it done. And we're just subpar, we're going to be all right. We're definitely winning more than 3 games. I know that. Definitely gonna win more than 3 games. But yo, man, bringing them in and just knowing the mental focus that he wants these guys to be able to have, that's money well spent. That's all you can say, baby.
About cap space going forward to sign this draft class after the money you spent already, the money you still have left. It must be fascinating to you as a young GM to see the numbers, how you played those numbers correctly, and what you have left.
Yeah, well, we're up against it now, so I don't want the fans to expect a lot of big things coming. And we, the owners were very generous, and our cap space is tight, and we'll have plenty of room to sign the draft picks again. Like Tom Delaney and his crew have done a good job setting us up for that, and in the years to come. But there's no stress about signing the draft picks. We'll get all those guys done.
On a
So one of the things too I heard about this was that um, the deals that he's already signed with the free agents, a lot of them, I believe, all of them are all 3-year deals, maybe except for the kicker. I think maybe Matt Gay ain't on a 3-year deal, but everybody else is on a 3-year deal, which is almost a two and a possible one, right? And if they feel like this is somebody they're gonna want a little bit longer, they'll just keep extending them. I could actually see if this is something that's become more common with a lot of these organizations now. I don't know if you're gonna really see a lot of these multi-year, large, you know, we're loyal to you deals to these players, unless you're just a cornerstone player, right? Um, you have to be a franchise quarterback to get a deal longer than I believe 2 to 3 years, especially in this day and age. I don't see a lot of organizations sticking with players that long. I feel like, especially at certain positions, you're not running backs, unless you're just a rookie coming out. That's pretty much it. After that, you maybe get a 3-year deal. Outside that, could be a 2-year, could be a 4-year, but it depends on who you are, man. But I think seeing now what they did, they left themselves room for just in case they need to get from up under something. They're not in cap space hell because of it, right? So keep that in mind um, when we start thinking about the money they spent, because coming next year, it's not like they're gonna be in have a major cap problem. They'll be just fine because their quarterback could still be on a rookie deal for another 4 years, right? So think about that as well, right?
way to
Start
coach
right here.
Kubiak. So you're trying to get him to come here, and it's a delicate negotiation because he's coaching, and he's coaching in the Super Bowl. You close that deal with ownership, and now you get him in the building. What's that been like? What type of coach are you getting to see up close every day?
Well, he's been great. He's been a great partner, very thoughtful, very strategic, extremely hard worker, very detailed. Put a great staff together. I mean, that was a challenging thing for him because at that time in the calendar, a lot of the guys that maybe he wanted or you'd like to get or even interview, they have jobs and they have jobs that they're not going to get out of. But Clint had a great plan. We followed through on it, and he's been a great partner so far. We bounce great ideas off of each other. He and I both I think are very good listeners, and we see football from a similar lens, and I think that was reflective in the free agent class that we're able to put together, and what I expect a great draft class to be as well.
Shout out to the Raiders, man, for doing that video with the boy, man. Shout out to them for that. That was a good segment regarding Raiders own John Spytek talking about some of the moves they made, some of the offensive season moves, talking about what they're looking forward to. I think overall, man, he's done very well. I feel like he's making strides in the right direction too. If if I had to say this with conviction, I believe he's definitely trying to reclaim the Raiders back to being a force, right? And dedicating everything he needs to make sure that they do that. With a lot of the black cloud over the Raiders organization for over the past 20 years, not being too able to obtain a championship in 40 plus years, he knows his times need to change, right? And as Raider fans, I want my Raiders fans, man, just to remain patient. Just know that you've been waiting this long, right? I know you can give yourself another 2, 3 seasons just to make sure it's maturing where it needs to. Mind you, man, I believe the Raiders could be in the Super Bowl within the next 5 years. Obviously, sooner, depending on how we gel together and how this team kind of meshes and builds under the Kubiak system. I don't believe Kubiak's going to be a 1-year guy and out. I don't even see that right now. I think Spytek has grabbed this team by the you know what and is saying, "Yo, we're not about to be a laughing stock anymore, right? We're not about to just take the time and just you know BS around this. Let's get this thing rolling. Because if you look at it, man, you look at the stuff that's been going on in the AFC West. We should have been up, right? We done had too many seasons just where we just let them waste away. And I feel like under this organization right now, this current regime that's in there, that's a lot different just because of the moves they made. Normally, we'll get maybe one player, maybe two. We secured a plethora of free agents day one. That's telling. That's telling me something's coming. That's telling me that the organization is finding ways to build. That's telling me something right there. And Raiders fans, you should be proud too, right? This is the one thing that you got to know. If you have been wanting the Raiders to be relevant since moving to Vegas, and obviously, of course, before moving to Vegas, but especially just in this process, right? You got to be pretty happy right now. It's definitely a good look for them just being able to do the things that they've done. Now, mind you, we've had great players come in here and don the silver and black, but just being able to keep those guys here who want to be here and not speak about other things outside of what was on the field. There's a lot of culture that has to be cemented with this organization now, and I believe that Kubiak and Spytek are the guys to do it. Adding the additions of the veteran players, I always believe taking veteran guys and mixing them in with rookies is always a good culture shift and culture builder, right? Because you're bringing guys in that don't mess around about the position. They take this seriously because it's all about them wanting to win and make sure that they're doing what they need to do to maximize their opportunities. So, like I said, man, shout out to Spytech, shout out to the Raiders for you know having this video. Man, I'll just be honest. I'm kind of just more in awe because I was really just shocked about the free agents, man. Just knowing the plethora of players that we got and was able to re-sign and keep. Mind you, Max Crosby leaves. He's seeing what's there, but he come back and now he like, oh, I got some more of the homies and everybody else still here too. Oh, let's get it. It's up. Like you said, it's lit. It's lit. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, man, I wasn't gonna take up too much of the time. This is your boy Raider Rob, man, with Raider Nation Central, giving you that all day. What's up? What's happening? Talk about football. We talk about everything, man. Silver and black on this channel. Also, I do have a NFL that I'm adding on here too. It's on my playlist. It's called Lead Check. This is where I talk about everything outside of what the silver and black is. Silver and black though. That's that nation shit. Everything else is everything else. I still love football, but yo, man, I appreciate you guys for taking this time out. Let me chop it up with y'all. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, you just came across me, man, go ahead, hit that like, give your boy a like. It does help me move through the algorithm. If you like my content, man, you want to see more of it, give me a subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. I do drop videos weekly, man. I also have my IG channel right now. I just got it up, really building that up. If you can go ahead, click that link for my IG channel, man. If you don't want to click, you just want to type it on out. It's right gonna be down here. You know what I'm saying? Raiders _ Nation _ Central. All right. And with that being said, man, it's your boy Raider Rob. Appreciate you taking the time out with holler at your boy. I'm gonna see you when I see you. All right. Raider Nation for life.